Directing traffic, gonna go deep, has a man deep, it is caught for the touchdown!
Zach escapes pressure, Zach tucks in and runs. Zach Wilson's loose, Zach Wilson's running, he's got all day, he stays in bounds, Zach Wilson caught it, Zach Wilson gets in the end zone for the touchdown!
Directing traffic, gonna go deep, has a man deep, it is caught for the touchdown!
Zach escapes pressure, Zach tucks in and runs. Zach Wilson's loose, Zach Wilson's running, he's got all day, he stays in bounds, Zach Wilson caught it, Zach Wilson gets in the end zone.
There you go. Now you can hear me. Now you can hear me. Finally, some technical difficulties to start off the stream. It's been way too long since I've seen you guys. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. This is your boy, Richie. I'm back, and I'm excited to talk some Jets football because I've been gone for a long time, and I miss you guys. And, so today I just want to talk some Jets football, go over all the things that I missed over the week, and let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I should probably put my hat on to put some Jets green on, of course. There we go. Now we got to rock the black hat. Black hat for the stream. And we live. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on your way in. Today we're going to be doing some Jets Q&As, talk about what's going on regarding the NFL draft that is right around the corner. Less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, I think the entire draft will be wrapped up, all 3 rounds. And I'm excited to get into everything regarding the Jets. We see that Zach Wilson is on tour. This is a picture from them working out in Arizona. This came out like a couple days ago, and I want to talk about what Denzel Mims is looking like in shape. Elijah Moore, we see DJ Montgomery, and Jeff Smith. So before we get into anything regarding the New York Jets, I have to take a moment and talk about the tragic loss of quarterback Dwayne Haskins. As you guys know, it was reported this morning, and I got that report, and I just completely my energy just completely collapsed, because every time you hear about something like that, it just really makes you realize that life is precious. You know, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. Thoughts goes out to his family, his friends. It's just devastating. I'm the same age as him. Knowing that just happened, there's no sugarcoating it. It's just really upsetting, and I definitely have to acknowledge him before we get into anything regarding the New York Jets, because this is more than football. This is bigger than football. We're talking about someone that was very close with his friends, his family, people that loved him, and nobody should be gone at that age, man. It's just devastating, and it's just really emotional. So rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Everyone say RIP to Haskins in the chat for him, because that is just devastating. It really is. There's no other way about it, and it sucks the energy out of me, and it really makes me upset every time I think about it, and I'm sure everyone else does, because it's just not a good thing to hear, man. And tragic. But rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts about the New York Jets when it comes to this upcoming draft, because we got a lot of things to talk about. And that's the first thing I want to get into the chat. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts about what your excitement level is for the New York Jets in the NFL draft that's coming up. And I just feel like this is a really good opportunity for the Jets to really take that big step into this season, because we all know what they did in free agency and all the trades that they did acquiring draft capital. And it's absolutely remarkable to see what just happened. What is happening with the New York Jets in the past couple weeks, We know that Joe Douglas is relentlessly trying to add a big-time wide receiver in the trade market. He was aggressive for Tyreek Hill. That went south. He went to the Miami Dolphins, as we all know. We all see the rumors about A.J. Brown. We see DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, now Deebo Samuel, all wide receivers that is going into the last year of their contract. And they are players that if they're seeing guys like Tyreek Hill, we see Stephon Diggs got paid. We see Brandon Cooks. We see all these wide receivers getting paid the big bucks. And if I'm A.J. Brown, if I'm DK Metcalf, if I'm Deebo, if I'm Terry, and I don't get approached for a contract, then I'm requesting a trade, because you don't want to go into the last year of your contract after dominating the NFL for the first 3 seasons in the NFL, not having a big contract. And we know that Joe Douglas is willing to, number one, give up draft capital for a player, and number two, pay a player, because he was willing to give Tyreek Hill around $28-30 million per year. So we know that Joe Douglas values that position, and it sucked. The good thing about this, guys, is it's not the end of the world if the Jets do not find a way to get one of those 4 receivers that is, looking to get paid. In McLaurin, in A.J. Brown, DK, and Deebo Samuel. It's very unlikely. The good news is, if we miss out on all 4 of those, which is probably going to happen, most likely, right? We have a lot of draft capital to address the wide receiver position in the draft. We can get a guy in Jameson Williams. We can get a guy in Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London. The list goes on and on and on. So that's the good news, where if we strike out on one of those players, we have the ammunition. We can still get a big-time player in the NFL draft. And there's other guys late in the second round you can or trade up for. Chris Olave, Christian Watson, Dotson. I mean, there's so many receivers that I feel like the New York Jets are going to have a lot of interest in. So that's the big-time thing that I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to leading up to the NFL draft. Are the Jets going to make a trade for a receiver, or are we going to go into the NFL draft trying to draft one? So now let's talk about Denzel Mims, because I know that he was a topic of Jets Twitter this past week, and you guys know where I stand on Denzel Mims, right? Let me just remind you how I feel about Denzel Mims. I was defending Denzel Mims his rookie season. I was saying that he is the future of this New York Jets team. He is the wide receiver that's going to develop into the number 1 guy, because he had a pretty good rookie season. Did not have a good start. And then at the end of the season, in his rookie season, when Joe Flacco took over, I remember he looked really comfortable out there, and he's making big-time plays. And then year number 2, we all know what happened. Food poisoning, shows up to training camp and OTAs, like out of shape, lost a lot of weight. Then he's buried in the depth chart, and he did not take advantage of his opportunities when given to him this season. And I kind of lost my faith in Mims just for that year, just knowing okay, Denzel, you got to really go all in this offseason, because you're going into year number 3, and year number 2 is a gigantic disappointment. There is zero excuse for what Denzel Mims did last year, in my opinion, because he was given the opportunity and he did not do anything with it. So now he has an opportunity for the first time in his career to go into the offseason with the same system. Continuity is a big factor for a guy like Denzel Mims, who's trying to learn a new playbook with LaFleur. In year 1, he had Gase. In year 2, he has LaFleur. Now he gets to have the same playbook. So hopefully this is where Denzel Mims can go in the offseason. And I need to remind everybody that every single player in this league, especially at the wide receiver position, they all develop at their own rates. And there's a lot of players in the NFL that blossom in year 3, that blossom in year 4. And I'm not comparing on the Deebo Samuel, but Deebo Samuel, he had a really good rookie season, really good year 2, but he was not the superstar that he is now until year number 3, right? Not saying that Denzel Mims is a Deebo Samuel. Please don't make it seem that way. But now Denzel Mims has a really good opportunity, and you see what he's doing in the offseason. He's absolutely jacked out of his mind. Joe Douglas is really excited about the work he's putting in this offseason. His agent is sending Joe Douglas videos of him training. He's relentlessly studying the playbook. He's doing everything you want for Denzel Mims. So this is his opportunity to show up to OTAs in shape, healthy, going into training camp healthy, in shape, and most importantly, knowing the playbook and showing the coaching staff that he could be a big-time piece for this New York Jets receiving core. I still believe in Mims. I'm not a Jets fan that likes to write people off too quickly after 2 years. Yes, he had 2 disappointing seasons with the Jets, but let's do it. I'm really excited to see what Denzel does. I think he had an opportunity, man. I feel like he had 5 straight games starting when Corey Davis went down for the year. Elijah Moore was out. Denzel Mims was playing. He was the starting wide receiver outside with Keelan Cole, and he just, didn't do anything. The ball didn't go his way. He wasn't getting open. Whatever it was, he was getting, pre-snap penalties. He was not lining up properly. He was getting, he was in his head. So let's just hope that he can go out there with confidence and the Jets can really start targeting him more in the offense. And we'll see if he can really step up big time. So now let's talk about the NFL draft, guys, because I really think that this is a perfect opportunity for the New York Jets to take that next step, man. It really, really is a huge, huge NFL draft for us. So if we think about it, we have an opportunity to go out there, get a premier edge rusher, get a big-time receiver, and then in the second round, it's really curious to where they're going to go. They're going to go corner, linebacker. I want to hear your thoughts. But before we go any further and get into the NFL draft, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support here on Jets Media for the past months and years, to be honest, because it really is a lot of fun talking Jets, and I never take it for granted having a community like you guys really, pushing me to create content, enjoying the shows, smashing the like buttons, all the donations, everything. I just really want to say thank you guys so much because it really does mean a lot from all you guys. Really does. So smash that like button for your boy. I really appreciate it. Feels good to be back talking some Jets. And let's get into it. I want to hear you. And don't forget to smash that like button right now so we can get as many Jets fans in here as possible. So I'm also going to open this up to a Jets Q&A because I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat. Any questions you guys have about the NFL draft coming up or, trade market stuff or, previous stuff in the free agency, some players I'm expecting to see. I do love this picture for many reasons because Zach Wilson is all over the country, traveling everywhere. So let's get right into it, man. Jets Q&A. Hey, we got the first donation of the stream. My man Pappy, 1994 Chef, a great member on the channel. Dude, we need sauce at 4. We got Hill, Park, and Diggs. We need someone that can compete. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate the $5 donation from Pappy. Always appreciate you big time. Yeah, I'm a huge sauce guy. Absolutely. But the one thing I will say is I believe the New York Jets coaching staff and the New York Jets front office, they believe that the way you get a $30 million per year wide receiver off the field and shut down that wide receiver is not by getting a lockdown corner. It's by getting a pass rusher that will dominate the line of scrimmage and get to the quarterback consistently. That's what Joe Douglas said in his press conference a couple weeks ago. They said the way you take a $30 million receiver off the field is you hit the quarterback. So this is what makes me believe that the Jets are not going to take Sauce at 4. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Anything can happen, and if they do take Sauce at 4, I'd be pretty happy. But I think they're going to prioritize the line of scrimmage and go edge at number 4. Whether that's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau if he falls, whether that's going with Jermaine Johnson, whether that's Walker, or if they want, they can go Sauce at 4 and then get their edge at 10 if Jermaine Johnson's still there. I'm just trying to say it makes me hard to think that the Jets are going to take a corner over an edge rusher. But the good news is we have 2 top 10 picks. So we can take Sauce at 4 and then take our edge rusher at 10, and then we can solve both problems right there. I love Gardner. He's a prospect that I really want all over the New York Jets because he's a player that is just saucy, right? That's the only way you can describe him. But Poppy, I appreciate the $5 super chat. Always means a lot to me, my man. What up, Matthew? Welcome back to the stream, brother. What up, Hawk? How you doing, my man? Zach is doing everything right. I love hearing that he's traveling around in the offseason, training with everyone. That's not expected. Most quarterbacks hold a camp and make the wide receivers come to him. Yeah, he's doing a lot of things differently. And I actually want to show you guys something, a thread that I saw on Twitter. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I did retweet it, and I did quote tweet it saying I encourage Jets fans to read this, but I want to go over with you guys and read the thread. It was by, I forgot who it was, but it's a non-Jets fan, so it's like not Jets bias. It's not Zach Wilson bias. It's an objective perspective of Zach Wilson and why he thinks he's going to break out in year number 2, and I really want to read that thread with you guys. I think you'll enjoy it. KJ asks, what's the chances in the Jets drafting a running back in the middle rounds or signing a vet like Melvin Gordon considering Carter isn't a bell cow type back? Jet up. I think it's extremely likely that the New York Jets are going to draft a running back in the 4th or 5th round, maybe 3rd round if there's a player they really, really love. And I think Tyler Algier is going to be that player. Quote me on that. I love it. I love it. Yo, Richie, what's your first 2 rounds mock draft? In a perfect world, my first 2-round mock draft is coming out of this draft with 3 first-round picks. I tweeted it out, and it might be unrealistic, but hear me out. The Jets get Kayvon Thibodeau at 4. The Jets get Sauce Gardner at 10. That means he falls to us, which is obviously not likely. But hey, this is my dream scenario. And then we trade back into the first round for a guy named Jameson Williams or Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson or one of those receivers. I think that it is extremely likely that the Jets are going to package those two second-round picks and get back into the first round. So we can come away with 3 first-round picks. All of them will have fifth-year options. I think that's what Joe Douglas is going to do if he's not able to package those two second-round picks for a player. Or if they want to stay put and they feel like a receiver or a player will fall to them at 35 and they can get 2 other players, that's obviously likely. But do not rule out the New York Jets from trading back into the first round. John, I have not streamed in a while. Indeed, I have been on vacation. I just came home from Mexico yesterday. It was a family vacation. So it feels good to be back making some content. It was good to get away from, football and the sports world for a little bit, but I'll be lying to say if I did not miss you guys. So it's good to be back. Good to be talking Jets football and the NFL with you guys. So I want to get into the thread I was talking about because I really think you guys are going to enjoy this and get you excited about our guy Zach Wilson in year number 2. And then we'll get back into the chat. And alrighty, let's share my screen. Share screen. Where's Twitter? There we go. There we go. Alrighty. So this is a thread that I believe will get everybody extremely pumped up for Zach Wilson and really show that his potential in year number 2 is maybe a little bigger than any of us ever expected. So let's get right into it. This is from Dynasty IM. He is a fantasy football guy. He's a writer. So he's not a Jets fan, right? I don't think he's a guy that covers the NFL. So let's read this over together. I think you guys are going to love this. Is Zach Wilson going to break out in year 2? A little thread. When it comes to quarterbacks heading into their sophomore season, their prospect status is still really important to us. Why? Unless a quarterback had a great rookie season, their rookie production is actually less predictive to us than what their prospect grade is or was. And as for who Zach Wilson was as a prospect, he was a 2nd overall pick, early declare, posted 12.6 yards per attempt, and his declare season. Scramble profile type. This plus more comes together to make Zach Wilson an elite quarterback prospect. So he's basically talking about that we have to remember that Zach Wilson was a prospect that was elite, right? And what that means is him coming out of college. And that's what I always try to remind people, Jets fans, even non-Jets fans, like you can't judge a player based on one season, right? If you go back and talk about Zach Wilson a year ago heading into the draft, he was looked at as a really big-time prospect. And that's what he's trying to remind everybody, that he is a player that has unlimited potential, and he was a 2nd overall pick for a reason. Fast forward to where we are right now, and Zach Wilson has completed his rookie season. Let's look back at it. In terms of passing, one of the most important metrics I look at is clean PFF pass grade, as one of the stickiest passing metrics available to us. Zach Wilson put up a 71.4. So in a clean pocket, Zach Wilson had a 71.4 passing grade. Under pressure, 30.4. So what this tells me personally is that when you give Zach Wilson a clean pocket, that is a damn good grade for a rookie quarterback. Now let's get into context that he get into, which actually gives him the 5th highest among elite rookie quarterbacks. Not as bad as the terrible rookie year you were thinking. So if you look at, majority of NFL fans are already quickly writing off Zach because he had a terrible rookie season. They look at the numbers, they look at the touchdowns, they look at the yards, they look at the picks, and they don't watch the games. And they don't see what he did, all the flashes that he's shown and all the variables around him. And that's what he's trying to bring up. His standard PFF pass grade is far lower than his clean, which tells us the Jets didn't help Wilson with a clean pocket very much. And now this is another graphic to show what he's talking about. Aside from the Jets improving their O-line and receiving weapons this offseason, likely more to come the draft, why should we expect Wilson to make the leap? Well, quarterbacks traditionally, as a whole, take steps from the rookie year, especially elite quarterbacks. Elite quarterbacks average from the clean PFF pass grade, it goes from 72 to 85. Standard, 64 to 78. So it's basically saying that if you're an elite quarterback, you take a big step year 1 to year 2. And that's what we're hopeful that Zach Wilson will become. As for Wilson's production on the ground, he is not a prestigious Konami type, but he also doesn't not rush. He averaged 3.3 PPG from rushing alone, which is actually a quite helpful number. I took every quarterback to have multiple quarterback 1 seasons, their average rush PPG 4.0. So why buy Zach Wilson? Besides what he believes he is a very prime candidate to level up in year 2, Zach Wilson's market value makes too much sense to not buy right now. So let's just get into the ending of it. Despite a disappointing second season, he's essentially the same value as he did coming into a second season. Zach Wilson hasn't even had a second season, meaning so I think you guys get the what I'm trying to say in this thread. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts about that. I haven't really looked at the chat since I've been reading that, because I just really thought that was interesting from a guy that is a non-Jets fan that is talking about a player that he believes is going to take a big step in year number 2. I think that this gives Zach Wilson, it gets me excited. That's really all it does. It just gets me excited for the damn season and see what Zach Wilson does. I hope you guys enjoyed that little thread, because I definitely did. Now, let's get into some mock drafts. Let's get back into the Jets Q&A talk. What are your guys' expectations for the draft? Who are some prospects that you really want later on in the draft? Love to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know in the chat what you guys want to talk about. We're going back to the Jets Q&A after I just broke down that Zach Wilson threat. My thoughts on Mims. LaFleur needs to use Mims to his best potential, a guy who plays on the outside and can get the 50-50 balls. Corey and Elijah are the route runners. Use Mims properly. Yeah, I agree. I think you got to use Mims properly, but he also has to step up, because he was on the outside for a while and the ball wasn't thrown his way, whether that's on Zach, whether that's on LaFleur, we do not know, or whether it was just on Denzel. But I feel like they got to utilize him properly, and you're 100% correct, Caden. He's not that separating type guy. He's a perimeter threat that can go up there and is a red zone target. He'd better get his first touchdown this season. That's all I got to say. So many Jets fans shit on Zach. It's funny because he's perfect for being a Jet quarterback. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of Jets fans are scarred, right? We've been in a quarterback purgatory for years and years, decades actually. And Jets fans are, they're passionate. We are a big passionate bunch. We're toxic at times, because toxic fans come with passionate fans. And it does suck that some fans are already turning on him and not believing him after 1 year. And I'm not doing that, not even close to that. But I really think the New York Jets fans should open their mind and give Zach Wilson an opportunity to really prove to be the guy, because he hasn't proved not to be the guy, in my opinion, just off 1 season. So, outside of the wide receiver room, right? We got in this picture Jeff Smith and DJ Montgomery. That makes you wonder, are they going to be on the opening day team? Are they going to be practice squad members? We'll see. But look at Elijah Moore. He's there on the bottom looking like the star of the picture. And people need to realize that we have a star in the making already in E. Moore, because I'm excited to see what he can do about that. Comparing Olave's tape to Wilson's, find nothing special. Wilson. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter about Olave. Stock is rising big time. And you never know. Just because a prospect is higher ranked from the media over another doesn't guarantee that player is going to be better than the other, right? What I mean is, very good chance that Olave is a better player than Wilson in terms of going NFL production in a couple years from now. We do not know, but I think Olave's route running abilities and his fluidness with his feet and his footwork really is fun. And his speed, of course, is a big reason for Olave's game, but I also love Garrett Wilson's game as well. Would you guys want the Jets to draft Chris Olave? I think the only way the Jets draft him is if we trade either back from 10 or we trade back into the first round. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How would you want the Jets to draft Chris Olave? And if you would want to draft him, where would you want? Because he's not going to fall to 35, and we're not going to take him at 10. So the only way I think the Jets get Olave is if we trade back from 10 and draft him, or we use our 4th and 10th picks on a corner and an edge or an O-lineman, whatever they do, and then we move back up into the first round. So it really comes with, thinking of what you rather do. Trade back up or trade down, because I don't think he's going to be the pick at 10, and I don't think he's going to be available at 35. Because there's still, who my favorite receiver in this draft is, and it's been since day number 1. And the reason why I want to bring him up is because he's getting healthy, and that's Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a player that I would take at number 10. I know that he tore his ACL, but he's ahead of schedule. He might miss the first couple of weeks, but for the long run, Jameson Williams is the best wide receiver in this draft, and I will stand on that hill. He is so good, and the reason why I haven't really talked about him a lot on this channel is just because when he blew his knee up in a Natty Championship game, I just didn't expect him to heal as fast. So that's my guy. I think Jameson Williams is the number 1 receiver in this draft. He's my favorite guy. If the Jets want speed and if they want dynamic playmaking, that's the guy you target. He's right there at 10. He's going to be available. No one's going to draft him before 10 unless, anything can happen, obviously. But let's hear your guys' thoughts in the chat. What's your thoughts of Jameson Williams? Would you want the Jets to draft him at 10 or trade back into the first round to draft him? I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat about Jameson Williams, because I love him. I can't even imagine him on the Jets. Mets 2-0, baby. You already know. I'll be making Mets content soon on Mets Media. Stay tuned. I agree. Jameson Williams healthy is a slight tier above the rest. Then there's 9 receivers tied to tier 2. I agree, man. I think Jameson Williams, all season last year, I was every time Bama was on, I made sure to tune in just for Jameson Williams, because I'm like, the Jets I want a receiver. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be my guy. And it broke my heart to see him get hurt on that game. But every time he did something with the ball, I was visualizing that being with the Jets. And I'm like, wow, I can't imagine Elijah Moore and Jameson Williams for the future of this team. That is everything we need. Everything we need. He's not going to get there at 35. He's going in the first round, no doubt. Take Jermaine Johnson at 4, Jameson at 10. You're welcome. I'm down for this. Obviously, this is if Kayvon Thibodeaux is off the board at 4, but I love Jermaine Johnson. That's another prospect I wanted to talk about because he was visiting the Jets a couple days ago and tweeted something out, and you saw his location that he was tweeting from Floral Park. I think Jermaine Johnson is a player, and I know some people in the chat are saying he's a bust. I disagree. I think the potential is so high for him. Not only can he be a pass rusher, but he's also a good run stopper, and he's a player that is, some people say, oh, he's so old. He's 23. Well, that's a player that's going to be he's ready to play ball. He's ready to play now and be a guy that's going to, make an immediate impact. And that's what we need, man. We don't need, players out there that's super young to, work through growing pains. We kind of need a player that's ready to play football this season and compete at another level. Not saying that, a younger player that's 20 or 21 can't do that. But I think a guy in Jermaine Johnson, you should not be worried about his age. That's the last thing you should be worried about. I'm really, really excited about the potential of Jermaine Johnson, but I don't know. I love it. I really think that Jermaine Johnson, Jets fans need to open their minds about him. This is false. He's not 25. He is 23 years old, and he'll be playing this entire season at 23. I don't know where that came from. Jermaine has the best first step, better than Aiden or Tibbs, best all-around guy. Yeah, this is why I really like him. He is an all-around player. He's not a pure pass rusher. He's not a pure run stuffer. He can do everything. He's an all-around guy, exactly what this Jets team needs desperately. KT is going to be gone at 4. I agree. I think that the reason why people need to open their minds to Jermaine Johnson is because Kayvon Thibodeaux is most likely gone. Eric with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you. Do you think JD will actually consider drafting Williams with his injury? We've had terrible luck with injuries. Glad you're back, brother. Hope you had fun. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I did have a lot of fun, and it feels good to be back. This is the only thing that's, I feel like, holding the Jets back from drafting Jameson Williams, because we have obviously dealt with so many injuries on top of injuries, especially at the wide receiver position, all the time. So the only way the Jets draft him is if they go over countless doctors and he clears medical. He's not going to clear at this point, but he's on track to, that knee is supposed to heal properly, because you can't expect, if we draft Williams or wherever he drafts, wherever he goes, Jameson Williams, I don't expect him to dominate rookie season, just because he's going to miss OTAs, he's going to miss training camp, and that's really important for any rookie player. So that's the only thing maybe I feel like the Jets might want to hold back on Jameson Williams. The only reason. I'm excited about Jameson Williams, to be honest, wherever he goes. Like, I was a huge Jerry Jeudy fan coming out of college. Like, I really love this game. I don't know why these Bama receivers I fall in love with them. But I like Williams 10 times more than Jerry Jeudy in terms of prospect, right? I don't really care about Jerry Jeudy at all right now. Like, you know what I mean? Just in terms of him at Bama, I like them. Would you guys take Trayvon Walker at 4? I think this is another player that Jets fans need to open their minds to. Like, don't be shocked if the Jets take a player at 4 that is like a Trayvon Walker or Jermaine Johnson. That's if Kayvon Thibodeau's off the board, obviously. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm seeing some mock drafts of having him going top 3. Like, Walker might not even be there by the time we're up, which is crazy. Martin says, do not want Thibodeau. His negatives are really bad. He is all about himself. He's a speed rusher with no technique, and he takes plays off. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know Kayvon Thibodeau personally to question his character. That's something that I'm, leaving up to the Jets front office and the Jets coaching staff and the Jets scouting team to, do their homework and interview him and get to know him as a person. And because the Jets value character more than anything else, they want players that love ball. They want players that are not taking plays off. So if the Jets do their homework and they really feel like Thibodeau is not a player that's going to be able to take his game to a next level just because of his, his mentality, then you don't take him. That is my take on it. I am not. I would love Kayvon Thibodeau at 4, but if the Jets pass on him, then I really think the only reason why is because they did their homework and they did not like what they saw off the field stuff. Because I feel like on the field he's an absolute monster. Like, he really is. I mean, there's no denying it. But I want Thibodeau a 4. Like, I want him to be the pick. I want him to dominate. I love everything about him, to be honest. Dream scenario is Hutchinson drops to us at 4. Wouldn't that be nice? Right? I love it. It's a defensive draft. They take an offensive player in the top 10. It could go bad. This is a defensive draft for sure, but you got to realize that the Jets do have a big-time hole at a really important position, now at a premier position, you can say, on the offense, and that's at wide receiver. I love Elijah Moore. It's nothing against him. I like Corey Davis. It's nothing against him. I like Braxton Berrios. I like Denzel, but we need another big-time playmaker for Zach Wilson going into year number 2. And yes, defense is, will help out your young quarterback, but you want to get a receiver in this draft. And if you want to go defense in the top 10 at 4 and 10, great. You better draft a receiver at 35 or trade back into the first round. That's all I'm going to say. I have nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to be upset at all if we go defense at 4 and 10. Like, I would love that. That means we got a stud edge and maybe a stud corner or a D lineman again, or I don't know who we're going to take if it's 2 defensive players, but I will not be mad. The one thing I will say about that is we need to make sure that the Jets, and I don't have any, doubt in my mind that they will not do this, is prioritize the wide receiver position, going out there, drafting one earlier or trading back up into the draft or at 35. Sauce is the safest and best value at 4, and you can get your pass rusher at 10, JJ or Karlaftis. Yeah, the only thing about this is if the Jets, I think the biggest hole on their defense is an edge rusher. And my problem with taking Sauce at 4 is you are, rolling the dice and say the guy that you love at the edge spot is there at 4, but if you risk it and you wait till 10, he's not there, that's not good. I love Sauce, and he's the guy that you would want to take at 4, no doubt about it. But what I'm trying to say is I will not be shocked if the Jets, instead of, taking guy at Sauce at 4, they need to get their guy at 4 at edge, and it could be Johnson, or it could be Walker, it could be anything. I don't think JJ will be there at 10, but it's possible. Even Sauce can be there at 10. I mean, you have no idea who's going to be available. Like, this draft is very volatile. Like, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. Like, my dream draft is probably, I already told you guys, it's Thibodeau, it's Gardner, and then it's trading back into the first round for Williams. That's my dream draft. If we can come away with those 3 players, I'm throwing a party. The Jets are literally back. Haha. What up, John? Welcome back. Hey, Richie, Tibbs at 4, Sauce at 10. Yeah, I think that would be great. I really think that would be great. It's hard for me to think that Sauce is going to be there at 10, but you never know what can happen. So, guys, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be making Jets content. It's been a while. It's been a week. So if you guys are enjoying the stream and you missed me and you're happy that Jets Media is back making live streams about the New York Jets, do me a favor. Smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Let's get to 100 likes before the end of the stream. We have 59 likes with 106 of you guys tuning into the stream. I appreciate everybody tuning in right now. So don't forget to like that button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get to 11,000 subscribers. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. How's the vacation, Andrew? Thanks for asking. It was phenomenal. I had a great time with my family. If you guys are interested, which majority of you probably don't give 2 craps, but for those that you are, if you can follow me on my personal Instagram at Richie Mollura. It's Richie Mollura. That's just my Instagram about me. Nothing to do with the Jets or anything. I do repost stuff about the Jets there, but I posted a lot of stuff from my trip, and it's just, my personal Instagram. If you guys want to follow me over there, feel free to do so. And you can obviously shoot me DMs over there. That's at Richie Mollura. That's my first and last name for anyone that's interested. Assuming 98% of you won't be. It's just funny. Who's the number 1 receiver on my board? Mine is Jameson Williams. The only thing that, worries me is the obvious with the injury. If it wasn't for the injury, he would be my bona fide number 1 in this draft class, no doubt about it. So it's definitely Williams for me. I'm also a really big Treylon Burks guy. I know that the combine, a lot of people are disappointed in his numbers and stuff. I don't really care, to be honest. You look at the tape, you look at the game speed. He is, and another thing about Treylon Burks that I love is he is a perfect fit in what this Jets offense needs is a player like him, big-bodied, big hands, versatility, take the ball out of the backfield, jet sweeps. He is a player that I would love. Treylon Burks and Jameson Williams are my 2 favorite, but you can't go wrong with Garrett Wilson, Olave, London. All those guys are good, but my personal top 2 is Williams and Burks. What ethnicity are you? I'm Italian. And probably some other things that I don't even know about, but Italian is my heritage, mostly. Fernando with the $2 super chat. Thank you, my man. Kayvon at 4, Jameson at 10 if he clears all in. I'm down. This is another dream draft of mine. Get Kayvon, get your edge, and let's get Jameson at 10, baby. Woo! I love it. I agree. What are you guys' thoughts of Fernando's mock first round? Would you guys be happy or sad about Fernando's first round mock? Let me know in the chat. Say happy or sad. Love to hear what you guys think. Ooh, that was a big crack. JD has to follow his board. Don't reach and fill need with best player available. Yeah, that is what he kind of does. He goes to the best player available route usually. Terrible, happy, Olave better than Wilson, happy. Yeah, so majority will be happy with Williams and Kayvon. I'd be happy, that's for sure. We need our edge. That is what this Jets team needs, is an edge rusher. If there's one position that this Jets team needs the most, it's another pass rusher, because we have Carl Lawson coming off an Achilles. We have no idea what he's going to be doing because he's never stepped on the field as a Jet. And a player getting an Achilles injury is serious. You never know if they're going to be ever the same. We have Bryce Huff, who is a very underrated player for us, but he's coming off a season of injuries. We signed Martin, who has a lot of potential, and John Franklin Myers is a player that can line up on the edge as well. But we need a bona fide blue chip edge rusher that the Jets defense and Robert Saleh can develop into the guy for the future. We have a quarterback for the future, as we're hoping for. We have, a wide receiver for the future, as we're hoping for. We have a couple offensive linemen. Like, we have a running back. We have a couple corners. We don't have anybody on that edge term, like on the edge, that is a player we drafted and developed, right? It's been so long. It's got to be Kayvon or Jermaine. Let's see it. Let's see it. Man, this draft is going to be so crazy, guys, and I'm going to be live on this channel for it. I will be live all 3 days, so you guys can feel free to tune into the channel, watch my reaction. It's going to be a lot of fun because I remember last year when we got Elijah Vera Tucker, me and Jack were going ridiculous. We were just going crazy because that was the guy that we fell in love with the most going into the draft, and we knew it was unrealistic that we're going to get him. But we still ended up getting AVT. So I'm excited to see what happens in this year's draft class. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. I had a long thing about him at the beginning of the stream, giving my thoughts about this tragic situation. Rest in peace, Dwayne. Man, it's just tragic, man. Man. It just really is. It's more than football, obviously. It's something that is just the same age as him. Life is precious, man. Life is precious. That's all I got to say. Lost for words. It's really hard to gather words for that. It really is. It really is, man. Makes me emotional. So I feel like the Jets are going to make a trade before the draft. What do you guys think? Will the New York Jets, I want you guys to answer this question. I'm going to put it on here. Will the Jets make a trade before the draft? Because this is something that I should make a whole video on this, to be honest. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Will the Jets make a trade before the draft? Or will they do it on draft day? Because all these receivers that we're, linked to, like Debo and whatever, the only way we get them is if we trade from before the draft. Because then we, you could do it on draft day. You can still trade for those players on draft day, but it's more risky, You never know if it's going to happen. Let's see what you guys think. Yes for DK, 10 for Debo. For DK, yes. Yeah, so I think that the New York Jets are going to be aggressive with these picks. I do not expect us to use all 9. I think that we're going to come away in this draft with maybe 7 draft picks or maybe 8, just because I think the Jets are going to be moving up. They're going to be falling in love with a player that they love so much they're going to be willing to trade up. And that is the, luxury of having draft capital, right? I know that some people think that, you don't want to trade up. You want to use all your assets, get as many rookies as possible. But the Jets did it last year, and I would redo it all over again. We traded up to get Elijah Vera Tucker by trading up for 2 picks, 23 to 14. We gave up our 2 third-round picks. So I do that all over again. I think that the Jets are going to be trading up in this draft. Very good chance that they trade down in this draft as well. But if I had to guess, they either want to trade back into the first round because they want 3 first-round picks with fifth-year options, man. That is something that I think is possible. Give me Sauce and Thibodeau and give me Jameson Williams. That's all I want, man. All 3 of those players. Jonathan says, we don't need to fill every single hole at once. We filled a ton already. We fill a ton more in the draft. George Pickens in the second, Alec Pierce in the third will be fine. So, you want to draft 2 receivers, and that being Pickens and Pierce. I think Pierce is a really big slept-on player as well as Pickens. I don't know. This is definitely an option. You can either get one blue chip guy or use your second and third round picks on 2 players. I wouldn't be upset if we traded for either DK, Debo, or AJ Brown. Trade away. Yes. This is the ideal situation, right? This is what we want as Jets fans the most. Give us one of these 3 players because this is what you want for many reasons. If you give Zach Wilson a bona fide elite star wide receiver right now, that's not a rookie that needs to develop. A DK Metcalf is an established star. Deebo Samuel is coming off the craziest season that we've seen for a weapon, a wing back, as they call it. And A.J. Brown is a true number 1. Now, all of a sudden, Elijah Moore is going to be open all over the field. Corey Davis, not going to be double-teamed. He's going to be free because not only does getting these players help Zach Wilson, but if we can get a Deebo or a DK or a Brown, it's going to make Corey Davis even better. Because Corey Davis, in my opinion, is a very good number 2 receiver. He's not good enough to be a number 1. But his best career season was next to A.J. Brown on the Titans. A.J. Brown took all the focus from the opposing defenses and opened up Corey Davis, and he had a near 1,000-yard season. So I think Elijah Moore is going to be the number 1 receiver this year if we don't trade for one, obviously. But if we can get a big-time superstar number 1, Elijah Moore could be that 1B, and then Corey Davis is that number 2 with Braxton Berrios, with Denzel Mims. We're absolutely set. This will be insane. But the unfortunate situation, guys, is this is probably not going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to do this, guaranteed. I think that DK is going to get paid from the Seahawks eventually. I think the Titans are going to extend A.J. Brown. Debo, I don't know, because the 49ers are strapped for cash. And if they think that they can get another Debo in the draft, then they might trade him away for picks and draft another player. But I'm down for Debo. I have high hopes for Corey Davis this year. If he stays healthy, he easily goes for 800, 1,000 yards and 8 to 10 touchdowns. If he stayed healthy this season, he was on pace for like over 1,000 yards. Which is crazy. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to be a guy that can be catching the football. I think that's the biggest thing last year that he struggled with is he had too many drops, man. I mean, 6 drops is unacceptable in my opinion for a player getting paid $13.5 million per year. I think that Elijah Moore is going to claim as the number 1 option in this offense, and that's going to help out Corey Davis because everyone's going to be focusing on Elijah Moore, and then Corey Davis is going to get open more, and then Braxton Berrios is going to do his thing in the slot. And that's the ideal scenario. And then whatever rookie we draft as well is going to be a big-time piece. My guy King Jamie is here sending a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. Hi, Richie. I'm in Nevada about to head to the bookie and throw some cash down on the Chiefs and Jets. We should see the Jets make it far this year. Hey, let me know how much you put down on the Jets. I would love to hear that. Jamie, I appreciate you big time. Always means a lot on the channel. All your support from the Chiefs. We got a Chiefs fan in here that loves the Jets because of the channel. I love it. I appreciate you, King Jamie. You are the man. We need Wyatt Davis or Jones. I think that we're going to draft an interior defensive lineman in the second round. Throw in Perry and Winfrey. I love Winfrey. But I would be ecstatic with Winfrey, Wyatt, Davis, or Jones. Not Wyatt Davis, like Wyatt Travis Jones. There's a lot of guys that I love in the interior defensive line. Let me know your thoughts. Because I feel like Jets fans are low-key traumatized from that position because we went through years and years of drafting interior defensive linemen in the first round, in the second round, paying big-time interior defensive linemen. You know, we went from Sheldon Richardson, Muhammad Wilkerson, Leonard Williams. You know, we went through a lot of interior defensive linemen. I feel like Jets fans are a little traumatized by that. But remember, if we can draft an elite interior defensive lineman to add to the mix of Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, Solomon Thomas, like there's nothing wrong with that. We need to bona fide these trenches because Saleh loves a rotation of 8 or 9 guys, and I would love Perry Winfrey the most out of them all, to be honest. Obviously, there's players that are better than him, but I feel like Winfrey in the second round is ideal. How would you guys feel about that? Let me know how you would feel about Winfrey in the second. I know for a fact that not every single Jets fan is going to want Winfrey or even an interior D lineman at that time. I would still like to grab a pass-catching tight end in the draft. McBride at 38 would be great. I feel like we would use him as big slot formation like a wide receiver and create matchup havoc on the defense. That would be crazy if the Jets drafted McBride and we go into this year with 3 like really good tight ends. No, respectfully, Matthews not on board. Trav Jones. Winfrey cannot stop the run. You're right. He's not known to be able to stop the run, but what he is known to do is get to the quarterback, and that's what this system is all about. Like, if we can get interior pass rush with Quinnen and JFM and Marshall and Solomon Thomas and Winfrey, like, that's what this defense is all about. The only way, I want to remind everybody, because us as a fan base, we're used to the Jets to have a dominant defense, right? That's the only thing we really had for the past decade is a consistent good defense. But the system that Robert Saleh is running is all about getting to the quarterback. If we do not get consistent pass rush, if the New York Jets defensive line cannot get to the quarterback consistently, the entire scheme won't flourish at its highest potential. That's what it's all about. That helps out the back end of the linebackers and the safeties and the corners, and that's where this defense thrived when Robert Saleh was with San Francisco and they went to the Super Bowl in 2019. They had a dominant 4. Solomon Thomas was one of those guys, by the way. They had Bosa. You guys know all the players on that 49ers D line. The reason why that defense went to the Super Bowl and that defense was so good is because their pass rush was disgusting. So let's go get a dominant pass rush and get to the quarterback, and let's open up this defense. Let's do it. Because this is my take real quick. You know, if you give a quarterback 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket and you don't get pass rush, you can be the greatest corner or the greatest safety in the world. You're not covering the good receivers for 5 seconds. I'm sorry. Maybe a couple plays, a couple reps, but a good receiver is going to get open in 4 or 5 seconds, like in man or zone. It's just going to happen, which is why pass rush is most important. Getting to the quarterback, not giving him 4 or 5 seconds, getting to him in 3, getting to him in 2 if you have a crazy rush. That's why you need to get to the quarterback, number 1, before you worry about getting the playmakers, which is why I believe that the Jets are going to go all in on the trenches early in this draft and getting a dominant edge and then getting maybe even an interior D lineman. Because if we can get to the quarterback consistently, all of a sudden this defense has potential. Because I love DJ Reed. I love Bryce Hall. I love Michael Carter II. I love Brendan Eccles. I feel like our secondary is very young and upcoming. And I think Sauce is definitely still a player in the conversation, as well as Stingley, if they really want to go all in on that position. But I think it's going to be all about the trenches. Oh, yeah. The trenches. I believe Jermaine Johnson's career is going to be better than Kayvon's because everyone wants us to pick him, but I believe Jermaine is our guy. Watch. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think Jermaine Johnson could be our guy as well. I love Jermaine Johnson. We were talking about him earlier in the stream. I agree with you. Sauce greater than Revis. Can't say this, bro. You can't say that. You can't disrespect the GOAT like that. You can't disrespect Revis like that, man. Come on. Have some respect for Darrell. Sauce, love Sauce. He hasn't done anything yet. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Quinn Williams. But yeah, guys, it feels good to be back talking some Jets with you guys. It feels good to be back talking some Jets football. This week, I'm going to have a line of guests. I'm going to have Matt O'Leary on the show. I'm going to have potentially Ryan from Jets Talk to talk about the draft, talk about all the offseason stuff coming up. I'm going to actually reach out to another person right now that just popped in my brain to get him on the show. All right. Sent out a message to bring in another guest. I don't know why it came into my brain while I was live. But guys, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to smash that like button. I see a lot of new people are joining the show for the first time. We've been live for an hour now talking about some Jets all-season talk. We got this beautiful picture of the Jets quarterback and some of the playmakers around him. Zach Wilson's on tour around the country. We recapped everything regarding the Jets in the free agency, what to expect in the draft, some trade scenarios, a lot of things to look forward to from the New York Jets in this next 2 weeks, because 2 weeks from today, the NFL draft will be all wrapped up and we can start talking about what the New York Jets did. What the New York Jets did in the draft. And I'm excited for that. A lot of content to come. Let's get to 100 likes before the stream is all wrapped up. We got 81 likes. Run up the thumbs up. Let's do it. We need a D end at 4. I agree. I think you need to get an edge at 4. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, there's so many opportunities for the Jets in this draft, and that's why it's so fun to talk about it, because nobody knows what we're going to do. Nobody knows what we're going to do. It gets me kind of anxious as well, because that's just my, me as a passionate Jets fan, just thinking about, like, oh my God, like, what are the Jets going to do? Are they going to ruin it? Are they going to, like, not do well? Are they going to get a player that I don't want? Like, you all know what I mean? We got some Jets haters in the chat. What are these haters doing here? Get out of here. Boo. 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 Boo this man. Boo this hater. Boo that hater. High hopes for the Denzel Mims tour. Yes, sir, Chris. Denzel Mims coming at. It's coming, baby. Denzel Mims is coming. I love it. I love that Denzel Mims is the talk. Can you imagine Denzel Mims, like, actually living up to his potential? Because I wanted Denzel Mims in that draft so bad. And I remember when we drafted him, I was so excited. And it does suck that he is, a little disappointed. A little disappointing, for sure. But I think he'll live up to his potential this season. Year 3, Denzel Mims. Sign me up. All right, guys, so we are officially at 60 minutes of the show. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you guys did not smash that thumbs up button, please make sure you do so. It feels good to be back. First stream after my trip to Mexico. I appreciate everybody tuning into the show. I appreciate everybody, all your support on the channel. It means a lot. And expect content to come out all week long. And I'm excited for what's to come on the channel. And I'm really excited to see, most importantly, what the Jets do in the NFL draft. We have so many draft picks to play with. Joe Douglas and his staff is going to have a lot of fun with it. That does it for the stream, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your Saturday night, whether you're staying in with some friends, whether you're hanging out with some families, with your family, or you're with a significant other tonight, or if you're going out partying, whatever the hell you're doing tonight, enjoy it, because I will be as well. And I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Peace out, everybody. Let's go, Jets. Peace.